I see people running their horses around round pens, chasing them around, trying to get them to change directions and go this way, go that way. That's not what we're going to be doing today. Today, I'm going to be working with Slate, teaching him how to connect with me in the round pen, one step at a time. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do when I round pin a horse is I'm actually going to turn him out. He says, "Oh, you got that stick in my face. You're okay, bud." So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn my pony out, okay? And when I turn him out, I'm just going to step back and see what he does. A lot of horses, if you turn them out in a round pen and they're really nervous, they'll just start running circles around you. Or if they've been round penned using the old way where people are like, "Get after that horse, make that horse run, yeah, make that horse change directions." But we're not going to do that today. What I want to do is give him lots of clarity as to what I want him to do here. So the first step when I'm working in the round pen with a horse is I want to get good forward movement out of my horse. So I'll show you what that looks like, okay? He's already on the rail. If he's not on the rail, I'll kind of push his front end towards the rail, okay? Then once his front end is on the rail, then I will just show him the direction that I'd like him to go. And as soon as he moves in that direction, I will lower my hand, right? So that was pretty good. Now, I don't want him turning back towards the rail, okay? I want to keep him on the rail and going forward. One of the things that you'll see that I'll do when I'm round pinning a horse is at first, when I give him that forward direction, I'm gonna really be deep behind their hip here, okay? Because I really want it to be easy for my horse to come around here. I'll show you, right? If I'm out in front of him, look at what happens. My horse stops, turns away, or slows down. But if I stay behind them, and I'm really behind the shoulder, but even sometimes way deep behind the hip to drive forward, it gives them clarity. I'm able to kind of funnel them around. So this is step one. I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'm just gonna drop in, take a deep breath, and I'm just gonna wait to see what he does here. Oh, good boy. And so now I'm gonna ask him again. I'm gonna say, "Hey, let's go forward." Good. And as soon as he goes forward, I lower my hand. Very good. Notice I don't care that he slowed down or he stopped. I'm not sustaining the movement. I just want a good departure. When I ask, there. Good boy. What a pony. That was really good. That was really good, Mr. Slate. I'm not concerned if he trots. No big deal. But if he does trot, I'm just gonna wait for him to slow down. And I wanna wait for him on his own to come to a stop. Again, I'm not looking to keep this movement fluid right now. I'm not looking to sustain forward. Right now, I'm just working on the departure. I'm gonna take a nice big deep breath, let him know he made a really good decision by slowing down, stopping, looking at me, all really good things. I'm gonna say good boy by just kind of softening my countenance, right? Kind of backing away a little bit. Good boy. And now I'm gonna ask him again. I'm gonna say, "Let's go forward." Good. And I lower my hand the moment he goes forward. And then I'll kind of take some pressure off of him here, see if he'll stop. Good boy. I'm gonna back off a little bit more here, see if he'll stop. Good pony, I love that. And again, back off, back off, back off. There we go. There, good. Okay, so I'm gonna try forward one more time. I'm gonna see if I can get some good forward out of my horse. Awesome, what a pony. And so it's really important, and we're gonna get into this, my hand means something, right? If I extend my hand, I release when he goes forward, right? So he was in a walk, I put my hand up, I release when he went into the trot. If he's in the trot, I put my hand up, I release when he goes into the canter. Hand up again. I'm not gonna lower this hand until he goes there, into the canter, okay? So my hand has to have meaning, okay? Because if I'm not consistent with what that hand is asking, he's going to be confused. So now it has meaning when I slow my feet down and I back up. That's a disengagement. It gives him an opportunity to slow down and or to stop. I'm gonna keep drawing back, good. Good boy. Now I don't want him to change directions, and they might change directions on you. Not a big deal. And again, the old way, people would say, get in there and whip on that horse and hit the ground, make that horse change to the end. No, we're not gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give him clarity, right? I'll kind of open back up here to say, hey, no, we're going that way, bud. We don't wanna go this way unless I point that way. Then if I point this way, now we go that way, right? And so now he's beginning to understand that I'm fair, that I'm consistent, okay? So now I'm gonna keep working on this direction, okay? So I'm gonna say, no, I don't want you to go that way, bud. I'm gonna come block you off. I'm gonna give you clarity. We're going that way. Good. You see how smart these guys are? We don't have to hit on them and whip on them and, count to 3 and then whack them. No. Good boy. I'm gonna tell him again. We're going that way, over there. Yeah. Good. You're so smart, right? You're such a smart boy. Good boy. So now I can consistently get my horse when I point this way to go that way, when I point that way to go that way, okay? But it all starts with being very clear and consistent with what I'm asking for them. So once I get good forward, we're gonna go right into the next step of teaching him how to round pin. So now we're gonna get into the second step, which is changing directions. I did a little bit at the end there of part 1, but essentially what that means is I wanna be able to get my horse to change directions. So I should be able to point this way, and if he's not moving, if he's kind of hung up on that rail, what I'll do is I'll keep pointing, okay? I'll get all the way up against the rail, and I'm gonna kind of sneak in between my horse and a rail. Now, a lot of horses will do this, where they'll start to turn back, and you can tell they're thinking about turning. If my horse is thinking about turning, I'm gonna get back here behind the hip, put him back on the rail, and then I'll sneak in here again to see if I can open up this space. He's backing up. I'm gonna get back here by the hip, get him back on the rail, back here by the hip, back here by the hip, back on the rail, good. And now I'm gonna sneak in here. I'm pointing, and sometimes I might have to come all there. The moment he changes the directions, I lower my hand, okay? Sometimes I might have to slide down the rail and push him around, but he ended up changing on his own. So we're gonna do this again here, okay? So now we're gonna go the other way. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna point that way. There, that's a good change of direction there. And again, I wanna be so clear because I don't wanna sound like I'm beating a dead horse. Probably not the best analogy here. But you see people all the time chasing these horses and whipping on them in the round pen. Let's give them clarity. Let's say, hey, we're gonna go that way. There, good boy. And he's never had this done before. But it's really, so right there, I'm pointing to the right. He anticipated going that way. My hand stays up until he goes to the right. Then I lower that hand. And so he's beginning to understand, how do I get that hand to lower? He says, oh, stopping's not lowering the hand. Turning towards him's not lowering the hand. I'm gonna put a little bit of pressure by circling around here. I'll work my way down the rail on this side. There, turning away. Oh, that made him lower the hand. Okay. He says, okay, I think I'm getting this. So I'm not gonna ask for another change until he's at the rail. So now he's at the rail. Now I'm gonna point this way. I'll step over, give him plenty of room to go through here. And of course, the moment he changed directions, I lowered that hand. What a pony. We're gonna do it again, but I wanna wait till he's at the rail. Oh, he's a smart pony. He knows what's coming. I'm gonna wait till he's tracking on the rail. I'm gonna push him around a little bit. He's kind of anticipating. I like what he's thinking, but I also want him waiting until I ask. I'm gonna say, let's keep going, bud. Okay, so now here we go. I'm gonna point to the left. I'm gonna close off this gate right here, if you will. I'll kind of swing through there, lower my hand the moment he comes through. This time I'm gonna do a couple just a little bit quicker, okay? So I'm gonna point there. On this one, I'm gonna point Sweep them through. Good. One last one. I'm gonna point, sweep them through. What a pony. Good boy. So you can see how we can change directions with our horse very quickly when we give them clarity, where we are guiding them in the direction we want them to go instead of forcing or whacking or getting after them. And you have a horse now who is much more relaxed, who doesn't feel like they have to panic and spook and spin really quickly, but is much more relaxed and comfortable with taking your direction. You're not too old, you're not too broken. You just need the right support. Even before the spook, your body was already bracing. You didn't want to freeze, but it happened anyway. And your horse, well, they felt every ounce of it. The truth is, fear doesn't fade with time. It fades with trust. And trust, that comes with connection. It's hard to connect when fear takes the reins. And that's why we created Unbreakable Bond Premium, to help you rebuild trust step by step. You'll get our full 10-course training roadmap, where we take you from some of the basics like groundwork and desensitizing, all the way to some of the more advanced stuff like obstacle work and cantering for confidence. Plus mini courses, live group coaching, and a private community of riders who care deeply about doing it right for their horses and themselves. The piece you've been looking for, it's closer than you think. Start your 7-day free trial and build the bond that your horse actually wants. Okay, so we're gonna go right into step 3 of teaching our horse how to round pin, and that's going to be teaching my horse how to travel on the rail consistently, okay? So we worked on some departures at first, just getting my horse to go forward and depart. We also worked on changes of direction, but now I wanna work on saying, okay, let's go forward and let's stay in gait, okay? Now, if you had walked off at the walk, I would have kept him at the walk, but he's at the trot. And so what I'm gonna do is I'll let him maintain this trot, but if he comes down to the walk, I'm totally okay with that. I like to develop horses who have more whoa than go. I've got a lot of friends, people who train performance horses, and that's the last thing they want. They want these horses to be catty, to be darty, to be moving, to be shooting out, right? Not me. People always joke and say that I train grandma horses, and that's what I do. Is my goal is to make a steady horse, a slow horse. You can always speed a horse up. It's a lot harder to slow one down, right? So if my horse breaks gait, at least in the beginning, I'm not gonna get after him for slowing down, not at all. In fact, I'm gonna be like, yeah, it's a good horse. I like a horse who'd much rather give me whoa than go. But he's actually doing a fantastic job. Oh, we're not turning in yet. He's getting ahead. He's doing a fantastic job of maintaining his gait. So really nice here. And so if he slows down into the walk, I'm gonna actually take that. In fact, I'm gonna take a deep breath, good. See if I can get him to slow down. But again, I do want fluidity, right? I don't necessarily want him going into the trot. I'm gonna take a deep breath, slow my horse down, good. Let's say, let's keep walking though. There we go, good boy. And so part of this exercise is it keeps my horse on the rail. They're independent of me, but still connected with me, right? They're not up on me and right next to me. I don't have them in the halter, or I'm not on their back holding the rein, but he's still listening to me, right? If I want him to speed up, I've got some throttle there. I can get him to move faster and move up for me. If I want him to slow down, I can take a deep breath. See that nose come in, he checks in with me, he slows down. Doesn't that look like much more like a horse that you want to ride, right? A horse that's connected with you, that wants to stay with you. Versus if I were sending him around here and his head was, I'm gonna say, let's keep walking, if his head were up high like a giraffe, you could see the white of his eyes, you know, all those would be indicators that we have more work to do in order to get my horse to connect with me. So he did a fantastic job of going to the right. I'm gonna go ahead and change directions with him. We worked on this already, okay? So I'm gonna say, hey, we wanna go that way, bud. What a pony. Now we're gonna go over and around to the left. And just like in anything we do, I know in a lot of these tutorials, for the sake of time, I might just show one side, but I promise you when the camera's off, I'm working on the other side too to keep these horses balanced. Always work both sides of your horse. He's like a lot of horses, he's much more comfortable traveling to the left. You see how his cadence, the rhythm in his footfall is better. He just looks more relaxed, right? Loosen the rib cage, I like that. Wow. And you see how he's not just hanging up against the rail, he's actually drawing into me, but he's also being polite. He's not trying to come over the top of me. So I like a lot of what I'm seeing here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take a deep breath and slow him down into the walk. So here we go. I'm gonna say keep going. Good. And so you can see how the breathing exercises that we've been doing from the very beginning, from day one, is just training him over and over and over again, that when he hears me breathe, that's his opportunity to slow down. That's his opportunity to rest. I want him to look towards me and find his peace, his rest, his relaxation. I want him to find that in me. So that's the part 3 of the round penning process. We're gonna get into the 4th part here, but we wanna make sure that we can have some consistent go, right? Some consistent movement. It doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to be quick, but I want fluidity in that movement. And I also would like to be able to add some throttle, get my horse to speed up. I should be able to pump the brakes and take a deep breath there and encourage my horse to slow down. And you see, this time he didn't slow down immediately, but he's about to. No big deal. I'm just going to take my time and stay with him until he does. No big deal. Let him come down when he's ready and when he's willingly connecting with me. Okay, we'll go right into part 4. So now we're going to go right into part 4 of the round penning with Slate. So part 1, we worked on the initial go forward cue. Part 2, we worked on teaching him how to turn in. Then part 3, we worked on where we are now, getting him to sustain the movement around me, okay? So now what I want to do is I want to create a draw. And when I talk about a draw, what that means is I want to start to drop backwards and get my horse to turn into me, okay? I'm gonna do that again. So I'm gonna start with showing him where I want him to go, okay? I'm gonna hit the throttle a little bit. I typically like to, I'm gonna say, let's go a little faster, it's going to the trot. I typically like to do the draw in from the trot, gives them some momentum to come in. And then when I'm ready to draw in, I'm just gonna step backwards and I'm gonna pick up with my hand and I release when he comes in. You might say, well, why are you doing that? I like to pretend like I'm picking up on the lead rope, okay? Because essentially what I wanna be able to do with my horse, hey buddy, you're okay, you're all right. What I wanna be able to do with my horse is get them to engage with me, no different than if I had the lead rope on here. And so what that looks like is I should be able to, and I like to pick it up from the eye, okay? I should be able to pick up on this eye and pull and get my horse to come through with me here. Good boy, okay? So I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna come in here. And you can see he's a little apprehensive. You can see a little bit of that old, ear pinniness, just a touch. That used to look like lunging and biting and grabbing and stuff like that. But you can see there's still a little bit in there we gotta work out of there. But what I want to do is kind of get him to fall into my hand. And you might wonder, like, why would I pick up on this and then release when he comes through? I want you to also think about when you're riding your horse, okay? So let me move the front end over a little bit so you guys can see. When you're riding your horse, if I were riding him and I pick up on this rein, I want when I pick up on that rein, there, that he gives, right? And if I can get him to give at liberty with no rein in my hand, where He can feel my hand coming down. He sees my hand coming and he starts to look for that and comes in, and I release when he softens. Then of course, with a bit in his mouth, I ought to be able to get him to come around nice and softly for me. So I'm not going to like get after him here, but I am gonna give him clarity and say, no, sir. I'm gonna move that hip. I'm gonna keep my hand up. Oh, Mr. Dragon. I'm gonna stick with him. And his hand stays up here to be obnoxious, right? Because I want him to know that when he softens into this hand, that's when the pressure goes away, right? Not when he pins his ears or swishes his tail or shows his butt to me, right? I want him to know that when he falls into me like a gentleman, then that obnoxious hand goes away, right? Just like if I'm pulling on the rein, like nobody wants to have a bit in their mouth, right? So it's like, if I pull on that bit, good boy, the pressure goes away. So hand comes up here. There, good. I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna pull on my pony like I've got an invisible lead rope. I'm gonna release when he gives to me. Very good. Okay, so now we're gonna put this all together. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna change directions. I'm gonna ask him to go out on the rail for me. I'm gonna say, no, get on that rail. You see a little bit of that nastiness coming through here. And that's the point of this training, right? It's like you're always working through this stuff in order to help build this horse's trust and help him to feel confident. He's not a mean horse. When you're seeing that stuff come through, it's because he's confused, he's feeling overwhelmed, he really doesn't know how to interact with me. And so what's worked for him in the past is just kind of being ugly, right? Running people off and getting them to leave you alone. It's like, hey dude, I'm not going anywhere. Not happening, not today. You're stuck with me, at least for now. Oh yes, I know. You're such a funny fellow, Mr. Slate. All right, so we got him going consistently here, and I'm not going to draw him in until he's being polite. If I can get a few times around where he's nice and soft, where he's not either throwing that head or staring me down, I'm going to take a nice big deep breath here. Just slow him down, but keep moving. I'm going to add some throttle. I'm going to hit the brakes again here, slow him down. Good. We're going to add some throttle again. And now on this one, I'm going to draw him in. I'm going to pick up on that eye. I'm going to lower it as soon as he comes in. And I'm going to come right in there. This is where he doesn't like, where he starts to get a little nasty. So I'm going to stick with him, pinning his ears at me or looking at me sideways. That's not going to get him out of this. The only thing that gets him out of this is connecting. I want him to know too, it's like, this is a good thing, bud. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, Mr. Slate. What a handsome fella. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, pal. Come this way. There. There. Good. And so now, once I get a draw in, then I want to unstick his feet, okay? And what that means is I want to see that hip move and that front end come towards me. And a lot of horses will do exactly what he did. He wants to block me. You see how he's placed me on this side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come around here, and just like we were doing earlier, we already built in this tool, right? Where I can get him to change directions for me. There. That way I can get back into this pocket. I can pick up on my rope here. I'm gonna hold. I'm gonna take a hold. You see his eyes. He's like, I don't know. I'm gonna take a hold, okay? And I'm gonna pull towards his hip. I'm gonna say, no, sir. I'm gonna pull towards his hip. Pull towards his hip. There, right? So I wanna unlock that hip, right? I'm gonna pick up again. I'm gonna pull towards his hip, get that hip to swing around. Front end comes around, release him. See how he's kind of tried to position me back on this side? Remember, we already have the tool where I can say, open that up for me. Open that up for me. Open that up, good. Or pick up, move the hip, open that up, pick up, move the hip and release. Open that up, pick up. There, good, that was better. Open that up. And this is really just teaching him to be polite. He's gotta be a gentleman. Move that front end over. I'm gonna pick up, move that hip, open up. He's trying to avoid, so remember we have the tools to get him to go this direction. I'm just gonna keep that hand up until he opens it back up. There. I'm gonna pick up. I'm gonna stay with him, just like if I had a rope in my hand. Good. I'm gonna open up, get that shoulder to move over for me. Good. And push the hip through. Push the hip through. There, let's push that hip through deep. There it is, up a little deeper. There. And so, let's pick back up. Hip. I'm gonna stick with them. There we go, good. So you see how I build an expectation to stay with me, to draw in, to stay relaxed, and know that as long as he's with me, he's going to be okay. I want to be gradual, step by step, teach him how to go forward, teach him how to change directions, and teach him how to draw into me consistently while being polite, because you don't want a horse who's going to come over the top of you or run you right down and over.